Hey YouTube, put that on YouTube, put that on YouTube. It's your girl D Marie. Welcome back to the Loaded Minds channel, where we get your mind right, get your vibe right, get your life right, baby. I hope all of you guys are feeling amazing. I'm feeling really good today. I got some really high vibrational energy going on today, and I'm loving every bit of it. Just blessed and just grateful and just present, baby. That's just the vibes. So I'm sending all of my love out to y'all, all of my good energy, all of my, you know what I'm saying, my high vibrations I'm sending out to y'all. This lip gloss is glossing right now. So yeah. Basically, before I even get it started, I'm gonna just say a little disclaimer. This video that you're gonna be seeing in its entirety is gonna be two separate videos mashed together. Basically, the intro that I had created yesterday, I had to do two videos because my storage on my device had got used up. So one video cut short at like 20 minutes, and then I made another video that was like 30 minutes, and then I just put it together. But the 20-minute video that I was going to upload yesterday as a part one and do a part two, the part one did not upload, and then I had already deleted it out of my device. So fast forward, I'm here today making a part one to mash to the part two from yesterday. So when you do get into the second part of the video, just know, don't be alarmed that I'm gonna be looking a little different. You'll see when you get there. But so some of the things that I'm going to be diving into today is just about finding your purpose. Like, how do you discover your purpose? Once you find your purpose, how do you really like live in your purpose? Like that kind of thing. Also having an ego death and what an ego death is, because I'm going through that right now and it's not easy. It's definitely an experience, and yeah, so I'm gonna go over that and what that looks like or feels like. And then also I wanted to just jump into a little bit of having big dreams and coming from like a small city where you don't really feel like you're getting supported. And if you live in my city and you know me and you know what I'm trying to do with myself and my career and my music and this and that, please do not take offense to what I'm trying to say. But it is a very real topic that I feel like a lot of people don't discuss, but a lot of people can relate to. It's just having a vision for yourself, having a dream, you know what I'm saying, and wanting to chase it and not feeling like you have that support from your hometown, wherever it is that you live at. And my city is small, and in my city I can't sit here and I can't name anybody who is big time that came from my city. So it's kind of like a disadvantage. And yeah, it's like crabs in a bucket type of vibes, you know. So I feel like a lot of people don't usually discuss that kind of thing because it's kind of like a touchy little subject, I guess, in certain ways and areas. But I'm gonna dive into that today, and I'm gonna talk about my view, everything that we talk about. Oh yeah, I wanted to say that if you're new to this channel and you're just now checking me out, which a lot of you probably are because this is only my first episode. Like my last video is just my introduction video. This is like my first actual episode. So I want to tell all of you guys, first of all, hi, welcome, and thank you for checking me out. Thank you for coming to the Loaded Minds channel. But here is basically just going to be me sharing my perception of the world with the world. Like, we all have different perceptions. Like, we're all here in the same world, but we all see it completely different. So, and here on my channel, I just like to open up people's minds to a different kind of perception, you know, just give you a different way of thinking. I'm not here to tell anybody how to be. I'm not here to tell anybody who to be. I'm not here to try to control anybody or their lives or their life decisions. I'm only here to try to inspire those decisions and to try to inspire people, and then try to give people, you know, knowledge that they may not have known. Because as I learn, you learn, we learn together. You know, it's just a big old community. I feel like we all need each other as humans, and I feel like instead of helping each other out as humans, we get in our egos too much. And when we find out some information that works for us, whether it just be through life or, you know, whatever, we just might not share our stories all the time, or we might not share our perspectives on certain things all the time, or we might not share knowledge all the time with people that might actually really help other people out to know these kind of things. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to say, you know, fuck all that pride, put your pride aside, let's just jump into some things and see where everybody's mindsets are. Like, nobody really talks or discusses about anything unless it's on social media, which is why I'm here on YouTube doing this. So I just wanted you guys to know, when you are here, it's just gonna be a bunch of, you know, deep topics that I'm going to be discussing, and my opinions on them, my perspectives on them. You don't have to agree. I'm totally fine with that. Sometimes I used to be a biased person, but now I'm not. I'm very much accepting and open to other people's perspectives. I don't have to be right all the time, because I understand that just because something is right to me and it's a fact to me does not mean that it will be a fact to somebody else. And I'm totally cool with that. So if y'all ever get in the comments and y'all be like, look girl, I'm not agreeing with this and this, like, let's have these conversations. I'm gonna take that comment and reply to it in another video. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get it popping. Like, please don't be afraid to put y'all 2 cents in, or drop opinions, drop anything that y'all want to, any kind of little gems, any kind of knowledge, anything like that. That's what this platform is here for. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I'm doing it for. So let's dive into some things. I wanted to talk about discovering your purpose. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How do you know if you have a purpose, what your purpose is? You know what I'm saying? These are all questions that I feel like people need to know, because if you don't have a purpose, if you haven't discovered your purpose, that doesn't necessarily mean anything is wrong with you, but it does mean that you probably have wasted or are wasting a lot of your energy and your time and your potential on just not doing anything with yourself, and not chasing, you know what I'm saying, not doing exactly what you were intended to do here. So I feel like, me personally, this is how I feel, is like, everybody has a purpose. Now, I'm not gonna say that everybody's purpose is, you know, going to get them $1 million. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say everybody's meant to be rich. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say everybody's meant to have, you know, fancy cars and clothes and this and that. I don't feel like everybody is destined for that. I don't feel like everybody's destined for greatness, but I feel like the ones who are, they know it, and there's certain ways that you can know it. And I feel like you know it when you are, quote unquote, a chosen one, from very young stages in your life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, for me personally, I've always kind of been different. I've always been unique. I've always been like the black sheep. You know, I feel like everybody kind of says that as a trend or whatever, just because they didn't fit in with their family. So they're like, oh yeah, I was the black sheep. Like, I don't know. It's just certain, if you know, you know. Like, I just always dreamt about being famous. I always felt like that was something that I need to strive to do and to be. Not so much because I want to be famous, because if you actually know me personally, I'm a very shy person. I grew up very, like, insecure. Like, I always struggled with my weight. I've always struggled with, you know, not having as much or being as fortunate as other girls. I've always struggled with not being as popular as other girls. Not really struggled, but I had to experience that. Not being as popular, not getting much attention from guys or from, you know, girls, not having that many friends, and not being invited to this or that, you know what I'm saying? Being really antisocial, staying to myself. You know, writing a lot, always in a notebook, either writing or drawing or doing something just to myself type vibe. But don't get me wrong, I've had friends, like, I've had people who, you know, I fucked with, who, you know, accepted me at certain parts of my life, and I cherish those childhood friends forever. But you know, you'll always have a place in my heart, even if we don't speak, even if we don't talk. But I've outgrown a lot of people, but I've just always been different. I've always been different. I've always had a calling. I've always had this calling, and I don't know how to really explain what a calling feels like. It's just a feeling. Is when you wake up every day and your mind takes you to, well, I'm a Pisces, so I automatically always daydream, but it's like I've always daydreamed about being rich and being famous, and doing that so through music. And it took me a minute to really discover that music was my purpose for sure, or really just discover what my purpose is. I feel like how you know what your purpose is just whatever it is, that when you do this certain thing, this specific thing, that you feel complete, you feel at your happiest, you feel at peace doing this. It doesn't feel like work to you. Even if it feels like work to other people, it's not work to you. It's more fun, it's enjoyable, it's something that you would do all day, if you could, or you would base your life around this one thing, and you'd be totally completely happy to do it for free. You wouldn't even have to get no money for it. You would just do it because you love to do it. I feel like that is how you know what your purpose is. Excuse me. And that don't have to be tied to a talent all the time, because I don't know, I feel like people are naturally blessed with talents, you know what I'm saying? And there's some people who just acquire certain skills in their lives, and they get really good at something because they practice it a lot, you know. And I feel like that's human nature. With anything that you really practice a lot, you're gonna be good. But the things that you naturally have a knack for, and you just naturally do it good without even having to do no rehearsing, without even having to think twice, like you're just really good at it naturally, that is a God-given gift, and it's usually tied to a purpose. Like, you usually have a really good gift, you're naturally really good at something for a reason, like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like you just need to really do things, experiment, experience, you know what I'm saying? This is what life is all about. Life is an experience, so make the most out of your experience. Put yourself in positions and see what it is that you like do whatever it is, that find the things that you like, find the things that bring you comfort, find the things that bring you peace, find the things that you could do all day if you wanted to. And it doesn't just have to be tied to music or doing hair or doing lashes or cooking, whatever, even though those are some people's purposes, or some people's I won't say purpose, but some people's talent. I feel like your purpose is more so something that you can do to contribute to mankind. I feel like a lot of people have gifts and talents. Like, I feel like everybody has a gift or a talent uniquely, even if that talent is just being a really good listener, and, you know, being able to, you know, decipher, you know, through people's minds and help them psychologically, like that's a talent in itself. You know, that's a gift in itself. People who are able to connect with other people in that type of way, because some people aren't able to connect to other human beings at all, like in a healthy type of way. So that's a gift. But there's a difference. I feel like the purpose, like, everybody has talents, but I feel like your purpose is whatever that God intended for you to be able to do for mankind, like to help the whole human race, not just you and your family, but what can you do with the energy that you have, with the skills and the gifts that you have, to help the whole human race. So how I feel like the difference is like your talent is what can assure you to be successful in your life if you execute it properly, but your purpose is what can ensure that generations to come will be successful based off how you execute it, if you execute it properly. So I feel like your talent would only really affect you and the people closest to you, and I feel like your purpose is going to affect you and the whole human race. At least that's my belief. So yeah, try to discover your purpose in asking yourself what you can do to help all of humanity, all of mankind. I believe this is tied to my purpose, this that I'm doing right now. Because it's not something that, and sometimes your purpose is not something that you want to do. So let me refer to that, because I know just before I just said, oh, well, find something that you love to do and that's your purpose, but that's not really true. I feel like something that you love to do is your talent. It's your natural gift. You know what I'm saying? But your purpose might be something that you don't want to do. It might be something that makes you feel uncomfortable. It might be something that's out of your comfort zone, but it's your purpose. So you have this feeling and this calling to do it, even if you don't want to do it. Like this stuff I'm doing right here, I don't necessarily want to, like I do now, but I've been called to do stuff like this for a long time. I've been having this feeling to do stuff like this and put myself out there and go live and drop little gems of knowledge and drop little videos and stuff like that for a long time, and start a YouTube like this for years. And I just now have the courage and confidence to do so, to really walk in my purpose. So yeah, it's not always going to be something that you want to do or that you feel like you're ready for. And I feel like when you are ready to walk in your purpose and do that, it's a very empowering feeling, a very fulfilling feeling. Yeah. Okay. So that's your purpose. I feel like, I hope y'all got some good insight off of that. Another thing that I was ready to dive into was the ego death thing. Yeah. So yeah, this kind of ties in hand. You really don't be wanting to, well, I can speak for myself. I really didn't want to really chase my purpose or walk in my purpose because of my ego. Your ego is what will, and I'm gonna go deeper into what an ego is when we start going into the laws of the universe and stuff like that. I'm sure all of you have a pretty good idea what an ego is already without me having to really explain it, but that ego will really keep you from doing some things. Like, your ego will really keep you in a box. It'll keep you confined because it's so scared. Your ego is so scared all the time. It lives in fear. So if you live in your ego, then you're always going to live in fear. That's why you got to learn how to separate your soul or your spirit from your ego, because your soul and your spirit knows what it's here for. Your soul already has a mission. Your soul already knows what's going on. Your soul don't feel compared to nobody. Your soul knows that you're not better or you're not less than. Your soul knows that we are all the same. We're all one. So your soul knows that, but your ego is going to tell you that you're better than them or that they're better than you. Your ego is going to tell you that people don't like this or that about you. Your ego is going to make you self-conscious. Your ego is going to make you insecure. Your ego is going to make you doubtful of yourself and fearful of your own potential. So that's when you have to learn how to separate the two, because my ego was telling me I didn't want to make these videos and I don't want to do this kind of thing because it's too much room to be judged. Like, I was too scared of so many people and so many people looking at me and being able to, you know what I'm saying, judge me. Like, that scared me. So that's why I didn't do it before. That's why I haven't gone live. That's why I don't be going live, because my ego, you know what I'm saying, it'd be too scared. And if more people would admit that kind of stuff, instead of letting their ego, once again, make them prideful and not show that vulnerable side of themselves, then things would be different. If a lot more people were walking in their purpose, then humans as a whole would all feel more happy and more safe to be ourselves, to be free, because we're not going to be judged, because more people's walking in their purpose. So that means that more people are doing things to contribute to all of us here on this earth as a human collective, instead of just doing things to contribute to themselves and feeding their own egos. You get what I'm saying? So it's a thin line between that. Confirmation, but it's a thin line between that. You have to make sure that you're taming your demon and you're taming your ego, because if you don't allow your ego to get tamed and you just let it run wild and free, you're gonna be blocking a lot of blessings for yourself, because the ego can be a very evil thing. Like, it can. That's where jealousy comes from, the ego. That's where envy comes from, the ego. That's where, you know, backstabbing comes from, the ego. That's where snaky, fake behavior comes from. It's the ego. These people that's living in their egos, man. So I've been going through what I like to call an ego death, and really having an ego death is just being aware of your ego. And once you're aware of it, and then you're going to be aware of when you're operating in it. And then once you're aware when you're operating in it, then you can take control of it. And when you try to take control of your ego doesn't really like that. So then you are in your head battling the fuck out of yourself. And it's a whole process, but you got to keep wrestling with it, and you just got to remind yourself, and you always go with love, you know what I'm saying? Because your ego will have you doing some fucked up shit. But don't be conceited, don't be cocky, don't be arrogant, don't be vain. It's all right to be those things sometimes, but you have to have a balance with everything. It's good to be very confident and very sure of yourself, but never feel like you're higher than other people. Even if you do have more and you're more fortunate and you're more this or that, it doesn't make you more valuable than the next human being. Like, in all eternity, because take away all your money, take away all your things that you have that they don't have monetarily and materialistically, and when you take away the flesh and you take away the appearance and everything, we are the same thing. So you're not anything more superior. You may have had a better experience and created a better experience for yourself here on earth. That is valid, but we're not going to say that you are superior to anybody else just because of things that you've acquired or things that you've done on this earth, because we all have that same amount of potential. We're all infinite potential. We can all be anything we want to be. Did you make better choices than somebody else? Yes. But are you superior to that person because you made better choices? No, you might be smarter than that person, you might be wiser than that person, but you're not superior, you're not better than. So don't ever feel like you're bigger than life, because death usually follows that. So just remind yourself to be humble, to stay humble. Ways that you can really know when you operating in your ego is like when you just doing stuff only because it's going to benefit you. If you never did something for somebody literally just out of the kindness of your heart because you wanted to do it because it was a nice thing to do and you wanted to be a blessing to that person, not expecting anything in return, not making a social media post about it because you just did it and looking for validation from others, just doing it just because it's the right thing to do and you know it's the right thing to do. That's how you should be. You should be doing things just because you want to do them, just to be a blessing, just to help out your fellow brother or sister. You know what I'm saying? And people need to start looking at humans as more approachable and more, you know what I'm saying, relatable, because just because we grew up different or we're not in the same family doesn't mean that we're just completely enemies or like we can't show love to each other unless we personally know each other. Like, it shouldn't have to be like that. You should be able to show love to everybody and everything on this earth, whether you know it or you don't. Because think about it, you show love to God, right? You love God, you praise God, you worship God, and this is an energy or a being that you never seen. So how could you give so much love and praise to something you never seen, but there's human beings that are just like you all around you all the time, and you rather judge them and hate on them and pick on them, or just, you know, stay distant from them or act like they're, you know, if you don't know them, you know how people act in this world. Like, if I don't know that motherfucker, I ain't finna talk to that motherfucker. That's weird. Like, how is that weird? It's only weird because society has made it weird. We need to start normalizing that, showing love to other human beings, like normalizing being polite, normalizing giving a compliment to a stranger, normalizing helping a stranger out in their time of need, normalizing praying for strangers, normalizing just spreading more love. That needs to be normalized in this world and in this day and age. Like, we tried it the other way. We tried showing hate to people. We tried talking down on people. We tried roasting people, gunning on people. We tried all that shit. It ain't did nothing but cause people to kill themselves and be very depressed or insecure about themselves, low self-esteem, cause people to kill their friends or people who they thought was friends. And you know, it causes violence, it causes pain, it causes hurt. It keeps the cycle going of us being depressed and not happy and not free to live our lives and be ourselves, and feel like we have to live in this society cage that has been placed upon us all. And we're really actively the ones that's making each other feel like this, and we can notice that and see that, and it's really just that ego. If we could just all like move out of love and move out of our spirit and our soul and our heart space a little bit more than moving out of our egos, then we will all see and feel a big difference here on this planet. So it really starts with you. Don't wait for somebody else to start doing it and then you try to do it. Like, it starts with me. So that's why every day I pray for people. They don't even know I'm praying for them. Like, nobody needs to know that kind of stuff. That's just normal things that you should do because it's the right thing to do. I pray for people all the time, and I don't tell them, hey, I prayed for you. Sometimes I might mention it if they tell me, hey, I'm going through some stuff and it's starting to go real good for me. Like, you know, things are turning around for me. Like, it happens all the time. People come to me and they just start telling me good things that are happening to me, and I know my prayers have some effect on that. So if my prayers have effect on these people, they don't even know I'm praying for them. They don't even realize that how powerful a prayer really is. So imagine doing that for a stranger. Why wouldn't you? That's kind. Wouldn't you want somebody to pray for you? We all go through things, and we might not be displaying it on our sleeves, but we all go through things. Wouldn't you like a prayer even if you don't ask for one? Wouldn't you like somebody to do that for you? So start treating people how you want to be treated. It goes back to the common law. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's also one of the laws of the universe, if you want to look at it that way. The law of karma. You know what I'm saying? Create good karma for yourself. How do you do that? By treating people how you want to be treated. You treating people good. You praying for people. You helping people out any type of way that you can, even if you don't have it all like that. Just because it's the kind, that type of energy is going to come back to you. And we're going to get into that deeper some more. But just stop feeding y'all ego so much, you know what I'm saying? Start doing things to feed your soul and stop doing things to feed your ego. And it's gonna take you a lot. It's gonna attract you a lot of blessings. Trust me. Don't just do it for the blessings. I'm just telling you that's a big part of it. You know, that's a big pro of it is it's a blessing because you're blessing others. You're being a blessing, so you're gonna attract blessings because you're gonna attract whatever it is that you are, right? All right, so yeah, but when you do start going through the ego death, I'm just telling y'all right now, just a little warning, I guess. Just be ready for a fluctuation of energy. Be ready to have to ask yourself, like, am I going crazy? Like, the fuck? Be ready to start having to really question shit and be ready to feel like a bitch sometimes because you not moving out your pride, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's gonna feel like people getting over on you. Sometimes it's gonna feel like people having one up on you. Sometimes it's gonna feel like you being a pussy because you're not taking on every fucking demon that's pushed your way. Like, you're above that shit. You're not allowing that shit to affect you, you know? Like, you know what I'm saying? So just be ready for that. But y'all can do it. We can do it. That's what we're here for. It's just about a balance. I'm not telling y'all to get rid of y'all egos completely. It's just stop allowing it to live in you so much. Like, stop allowing yourself to just live and only operate in that egotistical energy and that fearful energy and that prideful energy. Stop allowing yourself to live in that all the time because that's draining so much of your energy and you don't even realize it. So much of your energy. And that's energy that you could be using to love on yourself or to love on everybody else in the world, and you using it to hate on yourself or to hate on everybody else in the world, so, and sleep on yourself. So just get that motherfucking ego out the way. And some of us have bigger ones than others. Some of us is gonna be weird, real deep process, deep conditioning process for us to kill this ego because it's been living us and thriving in us, and we've been feeding it for so long. It's so big and it's so big and it's so big. But we gotta start feeding our souls, baby, and letting our souls glow and letting our spirit shine instead of this ego, because it's not anything that's gonna be long lasting, that ego. And then the last topic that I wanted to really dive into, and it's gonna be really kind of short and sweet, is just, if you live in a small town, even if you live in a big town and you just feel like you ain't got that much support for what you're trying to do, if you really believe in yourself and you really know that this shit is gonna go, it's gonna blow, it's meant for you, don't stop. I don't give a fuck if I told you to stop right now. Don't stop. I don't give a fuck what happens. Like, and another thing, believe in yourself. You have to really believe in yourself. And when I'm telling y'all this, I'm telling myself the same thing. If you want other people to believe in you, if you want the world to believe in you, if you want your visions to really manifest in this world, you have to believe it. You can't fake believe it. You can't believe it 85%. You can't believe it 95%. You have to believe it 100%. You have to believe and know it and truly believe and have that energy that makes it real to you, so that it can be real in the real life. If it's not real to you for real, or you're not sure or anything like that, then that's going to show, and you're going to attract that not sure energy back. You're going to attract that weird energy back. You're going to attract that uncertainty back. So you have to be certain. And you have to know what you're doing, be very diligent, be very intentful, be very aggressive, and be very consistent. And not only consistent, but persistent. Being persistent is continuing to be consistent even when things look hard, or even when things aren't going in your favor, even when, you know what I'm saying, you don't feel like it. It's still staying consistent even through all those feelings. So make sure you're staying resilient as well. Being resilient is knowing, like, even if you get knocked down 100 times, you get up that 101 time. Like, you keep getting up no matter how many times you fall. Stay resilient, stay passionate, and have fun with it, and put your heart into it. That's what I mean by stay passionate. Don't just put your head into it and do some shit just because you know. Put your heart into it. Make these people feel it. Not just hear it or see it, but make them feel it. That's what counts the most. And support people. Support people. If you are on the grind and you want people to support you, support other artists, support other influencers, support other hairstylists, support other nail techs, support other lash, whatever y'all call yourself, lash techs. Support everybody. If you want people to support you from all different around the world and around the globe, why aren't you giving that energy out? It's gonna come back to you. So just be very mindful of every energy. People always think, if you do something, it's gonna come back to you. They only take that for bad stuff. Like, you know, if you cheat on somebody, somebody might cheat on you in your next relationship or in the same relationship, or you hurt somebody, they're gonna hurt you. But it also applies for the positive things too. You know what I'm saying? You show a lot of love to a lot of people, you're gonna feel a lot of love back. It might not be from those specific people, but you're gonna feel a lot of love back. And it's gonna be genuine as long as yours is genuine. You're out there giving fake love, you're gonna get back fake love. Whatever it is that you give out and dish out is gonna come back to you tenfold. So that goes for good and bad. Coming from a small city with big dreams is gonna feel like that, crabs in a bucket, because everybody wants to make it, everybody wants to get to the top, everybody wants to get up out that bucket. So just don't let it discourage you. If you know you got a talent, you know you got a gift, you know you got a purpose, you know you can make it, and really know it, keep going. It's nothing nobody can tell you. It's nothing nobody can do to stop you. It's none of that. The only thing that can stop you is yourself. So just get out your own way. All gas, no brakes. Keep on going. And don't, you know what I'm saying, don't stop. Pray about it multiple times a day. Don't just post something one time, one day, and be done with it. It takes more. But as long as you posting something one time, one day, you still putting that energy in. But you can always just go hard. Go harder than you always did. Just be better than you did the day before. Just, you know what I'm saying, stay as focused as you can. And I'm telling you this in the middle of my process. You know what I'm saying? I'm trusting my process. Believe in the uncertainty. When shit, you don't know what's going to happen. And shit is just uncertain. And you don't know how it's going to go. It could go either way. Those are the most important times to have faith. Those are the most important times to believe that everything's going to work out in your favor. And those are the most important times when you're being tested, is to have that faith. That's the most important time. So just keep that, all that I just said, just keep that in your head. Keep that under consideration. And in due time, shit gonna pop. You know what I'm saying? In due time, it's gonna be your time. It's gonna be divine time. It's gonna happen when the universe feels you're ready. And it's gonna happen when you feel you are ready as well. So if you still feeling like you're not really quite ready, the universe is going to feel that same energy, and you're not right. You're not ready. But when you are, and it's your time, and it's all going to come together collectively. So just keep on working towards that goal every day. Keep on staying consistent. Keep on staying intentful, which means making making decisions that you think about before you make them, and not just making impulsive decisions. That's the opposite. But yeah, I'm here for y'all. I support y'all. We gonna make it one way or another. They don't want to see us make it. They don't want us to know this information about ourselves. They don't want us to know this information that's out here in the world, and this knowledge for us to get, because it's dangerous. It's dangerous for all of us to be walking in our purpose and in our power. It's dangerous to the oppositions, you know, but motherfucker opposition, you know. All right, so I'm gonna shut up and let's get into the second part of the video.